now finally have enough to start flipping. I have hundreds of hours of flipping experience, and in this video I'm going to show you two methods that I use to AH flip, as well as I will share the most important tips that I haven't seen anywhere else. Welcome to episode 3 of Flipping to a Hyperion. This video is intended to be a standalone video, however, which is just going to be a tutorial on how to use the auction house and how to make a bunch of money flipping. From last episode, we've got 17 auctions to collect here from this, so if you have a look here, I sold a bunch of these books that we were making last episode for 200,000 each, which is literally insane. So to start with, I'm just going to share one of the most important things that I think people sort of don't know when it comes to auction house flipping, and that is that when you open up the auction house for the first time and just load up a page like this, what you are looking at, so I've got currently Aspect of the Dragons search, what you're looking at is everything that flippers did not choose to buy. Quick tip on how to actually refresh the page. I'll just go to the next page and the previous page. I find that refreshes the page pretty well. So the way that I like to think about flipping items on the auction house, basically I put them into certain categories depending on what is on the items. So right now, in the category of clean Aspect of the Dragons, we have 600k. That's where they are at right now. What I'm looking for now is fully enchanted is the next category that I sort of put things into. So there's the next one there, which is 850k. What I'm trying to do really when I'm flipping is to find an item that is in the wrong category. So if there's an item that pops up here that is fully enchanted and they list it up here, I'll buy that item and then recategorize it and put it into that place. And at the moment, that would be 300k profit. You would also have categories for things like ultimate enchantments, which cost upwards of 1 million coins per item. So, oh my gosh. And there we go. So I have just bought this Aspect of the Dragons here. I bought it for 600k. So if I just go right ahead, I'm going to list this for 849k. Now, so if you can see here, that's about 250k profit there. I was just hoping to use this as a demonstration. There are two main types of flipping that I like to do in this game, and I would classify those two things as low volume and high volume items. Starting with high volume, that would be any item that gets bought and sold extremely frequently, like Necron gear, all the dragon armors, all of that, Flower of Truths and all those things. Those are the types of items that you're going to buy and then try and sell within sort of 15 minutes, try and get multiple flips going all at the same time. And those are extremely important. That's going to end up making a bulk of the money that you make. You've just seen me do that with the Aspect of the Dragons. The other type of the flipping that I like to do is low volume. So low volume items would be items like some Slayer gear, some accessories, things like that. And those items gets bought at a much lower rate and also listed at a much lower rate, which means that you have more flexibility with how you can set the pricing. I'm going to give you an example of that right now. So there's hardly any Shaman Swords up on the auction house right now, which means that once all of these sell, and they will, the price just starts to jump up. But what I do with this item is I'll actually buy it. So for instance, I might buy one for 500k, and then I will typically list it for about 2.5 mil. Now, the negatives of doing that is that it's going to sell very slowly, but it's a huge amount of profit. So what I would typically do is I'll find a bunch of items that are low volume, and I will leave those offers in, and then I'll just constantly be doing high volume items and making a bunch of money that way. Right now, I'm going to go and find some flips, and then we are going to list them together. So it's now the next day, and I did buy one of those Shaman Swords that I mentioned in the last clip, and as you can see here, it's actually sold overnight. So yeah, so that's one of the Shaman Swords there for 2.5 mil. So that I bought that one for 500k, as you saw. So if we just collect that, and yeah, we're at 7.7 mil right now. So that should be plenty. So I'm going to start to buy some items now, and go ahead and see if I can demonstrate some of the methods that I was showing. So. Alright, so you have just seen me buy this Flower of Truth. So, yeah, so I spent 4.8 mil on this this Flower of Truth. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how I would list this item. So, in my head, the way that I categorize this item is I can see that it's got Ultimate Wise 3, and it is Potato Booked. The most important thing here is that it's got Ultimate Wise 3. It does have 2 stars, but 2 stars basically cost nothing, so I'm just going to focus on Ultimate Wise 3. Now on page 1. Alright, there it is right there. So this is basically almost identical Flower of Truth for 6 mil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list this for 1,000 coins less. List it for 2 days, and then yeah, hopefully that sells, and I'll make 1.2 mil worth of profit. It is literally the next morning, and I cannot believe this, but everything has sold. The Flower of Truth sold. I was expecting that to sell. That sold in about half an hour. But even the Shaman Swords that I set up for 2.5 mil sold, which is just insane. So now we're sitting at nearly 12.5 mil, which is just crazy. So what I'm going to do now is sort of what I planned on doing before, which was have a look for some more flips. Right now, I'm just going to have a quick look at... Oh my gosh. No! I just saw this here for this was the lowest buy it now offer. 5-star Swarm 1 for 5.2 mil. The next is obviously clean, so that's well and truly not in the correct category there. So just for the record, I'm going to just have a look now to see what I could have potentially made on that. So Swarm 1, 5-star. I'll just first off look for the first 5-star. I'm not going to keep going because this is hurting me. Easily listed it for 7.65. That's crazy. That's not normally what happens. You might get lucky like that sometimes, but typically you're going to have to do this method of refreshing that page. Alright, so I found an item that I think I'm going to take a chance on here. So basically I'm looking at this one, and the category that I think is the most important here is obviously the stars. So this is a 5-star item. So if I have a look along, it's buying for 7.5 mil. If I have a look for the next 5-star, this one has no enchantments whatsoever and is listed for 8.4 mil. And then the next one after that is also 5-star, but it's Ultimate Wise 3. So this sort of fits in between those two 5-stars. So it's better than that, but it's not as good as this. So if I buy this, which I'm going to do, but I'm going to list it for 8,499. There's a mil minus fees that I'll be making from this. So I'm going to have to probably leave this in for a little while. I do have a little bit of money left here. I'll come back when I find anything else, and hopefully that sells. So I'll make about 900k of profit on that, and then we'll go from there. I have made a decision. It's not long after listing that last item. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to buy, let's say, 3 of these Shaman Swords, and then I'm actually going to enchant them myself, and then list them back up again. So I'll show the process of that. I'm going to buy 4. I don't know why, that just appeases me to buy 4. And legendary, so that should be fine. Now I'm going to need to buy some XP bottles. I'm just going to buy 2 stacks of these, it's probably plenty. I'm actually going to use my 1,000 levels right now on stuff so that this is more of an accurate representation. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is this is kind of embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I had one for all on my giant sword, and I just thought I would remove the enchants and add more enchants and things like that, and I totally forgot that I had one for all on this giant sword and not enchantments. So it does not have one for all anymore, so I will be buying that at some stage in the future. I'm gonna leave that for now. I'll leave it at 25 levels. I think that's sort of fair game. I'll get back into changing those shaman swords. That is so fun. After my little mishap with my sword, I've now enchanted all of the shaman swords. Now, just for the record, it doesn't need to be a shaman sword. There are other weapons and gear and things like that you can do. This just seems to be working really well, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did before. I'm going to list them all for 2.5 mil, make it for 10 days, and I do expect that some of these might actually take 10 days. The amount that I spent, I probably ended up spending maybe 400k per sword, probably less, but yeah, to be able to sell them for so much profit, you would be silly not to. One thing that I will mention about this particular method is that as soon as a few more people start doing the same weapon, it's gonna make this basically completely obsolete. Nobody's going to be able to do it. That's why I'm trying to teach the actual method rather than actually just showing you a bunch of items. So yes, this is just one item that I could do, but if I had a look at something like, what is it, the zombie artifacts, I've done that with those before. Now, you see, there's only 2 pages of this, but as soon as these 2 pages go, you could easily buy a few of those and flip those for a bunch of profit. But it's really about items that are needed. People want to buy them, but they don't need them all the time. So like, not everybody is going to have that zombie artifact because of how expensive it is. So see what you can do with that sort of thing. You'll find your own niches and you'll make heaps of money. So if all these sell, I'm going to be doing pretty well, I think. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I am back. So it is 8:30 the same day. The scythe has sold, so that was like 1.2 mil profit, something like that, or maybe less, I don't remember. None of these have sold, which is fine. I do kind of expect that would take a long time. But yeah, let me just collect that, and we are sitting at 11.5 mil. So what I'm going to do now that I've shown off the main methods that I'm going to use to auction house flip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set myself a goal. So I want to end the next episode with 50 mil cash. I've got some really cool ideas planned for the next few episodes. I need to get a decent amount of cash to start doing those things. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you do all of that good stuff, because the next few episodes are going to be awesome.